Hello everyone and welcome for another video of Love and Wargames. In this video we are doing another tier list. We're trying to make all of them, at least maybe not in December, but let's say like at early next year before we start to have releases for Dystopian Wars once again regularly. And this time we are doing the Sultanate, which was voted the highest faction, at least at the moment I'm recording this, for the next one after we did the Commonwealth and the Covenant. And so let's get going. You start to understand how it works by now. I'm doing this at the lunch break once again, so I'm going to try to hurry up a little bit. We're going to have 5 rankings and few disclaimers once again. If someone is at the worst category, Shifting Sands, it doesn't mean that, okay, it's terrible, don't take it ever. No, that's not what it means. It means there are probably better boxes to buy first or to get the same units. This is the first disclaimer. Second disclaimer, this is my opinion. And with third disclaimer, we are going to take a look at the overall thing. I'm not going to rank them by pure power if you bring them to our tournament, but a little bit of everything. How much they cost? Are they fun to play with, to play against? Is the design cool? Are the miniatures good? Are there better boxes than them to get the same miniatures? This kind of thing. And yeah, so Shifting Sands, as we've said, probably better things to buy than this. Fading Crescent, we are going to put there things that I cannot wholeheartedly recommend, but if you really like them, okay, I can hear this, but not the priority, I believe. Oasis, it's going to be like just the safe spot, Like, you're good, you can buy them, you can ignore them as well if you want. It's like things that are not a bad decision, but not a great one either. But for sure, if you want to buy them, you can. Vizier's Choice is going to be like where it starts to be like really good, and those you can close your eyes, buy the boxes, it's gonna be fine. It's really gonna be great. And I put Order tier for things that are just just a good choice anyhow. So yeah, you can start to guess why I was gonna be in there. But yeah, the Sultanate has this issue of having one subfaction that is a little bit oppressive in terms of how powerful and cool looking and good rules they have compared to others. They're a bit more elite, but damn. Uh, it doesn't mean that there's gonna be only one subfaction in there. It doesn't mean either that other miniatures from this specific subfaction is only going to be there. But yeah, I had to point out how good it is. Like, it's almost like I could call it like Imperium's quality in there. I'm exaggerating. Or Deutsche Qualität. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, let's put it order. And let's begin. So it's randomly put, and this I think is the Anatolia. No, it's not the Anatolia. Ah, but no, we start with this. Okay, it's the Examplar Squadron. I had to put this down. You've heard from the previous tier list, I don't rank ever the Squadron, which are the smaller type of box, except this one I had to point it out because, damn, this is a squadron of the order. So if I go to Myobi Place, let's have a look. You start to understand, like Myobi Place, you save 15%. You can choose us in the basket to Love and Wargames to give us 5% on top of that. You don't lose anything, like in just pure benefit for us. So if you do that, thank you very much. Links in the description. And yeah, if I have to point out why these guys are so good, is because this box, you cannot get the cruisers elsewhere, like those cruisers. You have to buy the Retaj and do some conversion work. But if you want to have those two specific exemplar cruisers, you have to buy this box, which is why I had to talk about it, because the exemplars are such good cruisers. First of all, they look brilliant. They're good at boarding. They're great at boarding, actually. They have incredible firepower with those judgment lances. They are very mobile. Yes, they're expensive, but there are ways to get around this and to keep them safe. They play very well with portals, and you get 4 of these Carolus destroyers, if I remember correctly, which are, again, they are the strongest massed ones of the game, probably one of the most expensive massed ones, but they are the only massed ones, for example, that cannot be killed by outright by Citadel Breach. And on top of that, they're just so strong by themselves, by being attached to any other order ships. And you know how much you pay for all of these very, very strong and elite ships? About 30 euros once you count the discounts. Okay, 32.6. This is an amazing box. You can buy it once, you can buy it twice, you can make a full order list, and the ships look great. Okay, this is my opinion. They look very fun to play. Like they look great on the table. They're very fun to play. They're nice to play against, because if you play them wrong and you make a mistake, your opponent has a chance to compensate. And when he kills one of them, it's really like he killed the Custodes or something in 40k. It's really fun. Like, it makes for great games, and they're quite cheap. For new players, they're great because they cost a lot of points, so you don't have to buy a lot of them. I mean, they go straight up there, like wonderful buying. No matter what you play, they're always a good ship. I hope one day we have order mercenary fleet somehow, because everybody would like to play those things. Okay, then we go with the, oh, is it the Suleiman already? No, it's no, this is a Topkabi because of the portals. Okay, Topkabi is very interesting. It's basically two of those support sprues with the escorts, two portals, and some aircraft, and that's it. You pay very cheap. You basically just buy the sprues, including the extra resin bits to make the generators and everything. You pay 42 euros, so 35, 38, let's say, after discounts. And yeah, that's it. That's all you get. But it's so good. Like, I love that they allow us to buy exactly the flagship. And on top of that, it's a good flagship. It's not going to go all the way up because the Topkapi is not the best, oh my god, ship that you've ever seen. It's not absolutely required. Unfortunately for him, and he would go all the way up otherwise, he's not the best carrier of the faction. You know which one is coming later, which is the best carrier. But it's still very good. It's a very good box. The Sultanate loves, and I mean loves, its escort, so having 4 of them more is great. The Sultanate loves its portals as well. You get 2 of those right in there, and there are not so many boxes with portals actually. And you get the Topkapi, and if you buy a second time this box, you can either build another Topkapi, or you can use it to make, for example, Nemrut or 2 support cruisers. And but it's a great box. It's going either in all the way up of the Oasis, or no, for me it's a Vizier's choice. Okay, we'll see how it gets, because the Sultanate has a lot of great boxes, and maybe it's going down a little bit later, the Topkapi. But I mean, for the price, just what you need. It's something that you cannot go wrong with. So for sure, like 100% approved. If we go to the next one, and of course they bring another order one. So the next one is going to be the Sultanate, the Order's Colossi, and well, you can guess where this is going. Those guys, you get only 2 of those. The only thing I will say about them is that you need to like the design. They look like sort of like angelic figures, and depends highly how you paint them. Do you make them marble style? Do you make them energetic wings? There are 2 versions. The version here on the left with like melee weapons and these shooty weapons, the judgment lances, and it's very offensive oriented, or this one that is kind of praying with these screaming voices with the aura of, I'm not going like support, let's say, or debuff, let's call it. And you can choose one head or another and choose what you want to do. The really great thing is with it is that it's 42 euros only, so it goes to 35.7 once you factor in the discounts, and it makes it a great deal. Like, those things, personally, I absolutely love how they look. So again, this is my personal tier list, so maybe you will not agree, but for me this looks brilliant. I have nothing bad to say about them, and they're very strong. Like, okay, the second bad thing I could say is that they're quite frustrating to play with because they're so strong. They come out of deep strike, they will obliterate something. In the last battle report, where we've seen them, you've seen them one shot in one activation an Avalon aircraft carrier, like outright, out of the sky, boom. So there was some lucky rolls and everything, but still, like, 2 of those are just a menace. They can go back, like jump around. They're relatively tough. If you play them efficiently, they're really gonna be hard. They are in stock. I mean, it's something to take into consideration. No, I'm kidding. But they're just so good. And for 35.7 euros, every day of the week I put them in a list of the Sultanate. Like, they're just so good. They're like this little missile that you're not gonna buy this box thrice, but always good to have those in your collection. They look great. They are fun. Maybe a bit frustrating for the opponent, but everything is good about them. So they're going all the way up. Are they going before, after the exemplars? Okay, I'm putting them before the exemplars. I don't know. They're both very good. Like, they don't have the same role at all. You know what? I'm even gonna put them in front of the exemplar, because the exemplar, you can get some equivalent with the Retaj that we're gonna see eventually. This is just such great boxes for the price. You get so much out of it. Now we go with the starter set. So the starter set of the Sultanate is brilliant. It's just simply one of the best starter set in the game, and there are lots of great starter sets. So you remember what we said. You get all the rule book, you get the dice, the critical dice, of course, the tokens, the templates, the cards, especially the cards that are very important. You get all of this in one. That already makes the price of 61.2 euros already highly acceptable, and you get such a good set. You get an Anatolia battlecruiser, and this is typically a cheap frontline battlecruiser that you're very happy to have once or twice or thrice actually. So you can buy the starter set twice and even be like, okay, should I buy another one, and be very happy. They are the Anatolia, you can buy twice and play the unnamed version, the generic versions, which are good. You can customize them and they're quite cheap for what they do. There are two named version. There is the Dogan and the other one I forgot the name. But basically there is one that plays with portals. They can do boarding through portals, very cool, very fun. And there is one that is the command version. I think it's like the Dorem Kusem, so something like this. There is a command version with incredible rules for the point cost. That is just a great command battleship that is good offensive wise and everything. It's such great ships, the Anatolia. And you get two Sultanate frontline sprues, which are those with the Temir, some of the best frigates of the entire game. Brilliant ships that you can even attach, like they're just great. Two frontline ships that, and this is, I'm gonna say it now, for both the frontline and the support sprues, you can attach two of the cruisers to make one giant mass 3 cruiser. So you can have the choice of keeping them separated or mixing them to make the Nemrut, to make the Mermaid, this kind of thing. You can even make flagships out of it, kind of like what we've seen with the Topkabi. So both sprues types, support and frontlines, are just very good. The Sultanate frontline ships such as the Iskandar especially are very good. The support ones are great. Maybe not the aircraft carriers because again you get big competition out of the Topkapi and especially the Suleiman. But you have the artillery version, the Nemrut, uh, which is brilliant. Like you have so many things, and you have the support versions such as the Aydin and the, oh my god, it's been a while I didn't play Sultanate. There is the Aydin and the other one, which are the support version. You have a logistical support one, the repair version. They are brilliant. You want this box twice probably, even if you already have the dice. It's such a great deal, and you're gonna have 4 or 8 escorts, depending how many times you buy the box, plus some SRS tokens. I cannot say how much I love this box. You know what? It's going all the way up. Like it's in front of the order. Like it's brilliant box. Then we go with, okay, difficult one, the Fortune and Glory starter set. So it's a starter set, so you have two factions, the Union and the Sultanate. As always, you have the bits and gubbins, which is good. Like the tokens, you get 2 sets of cards, 2 sets of dices, like everything you need, 2 sets of like everything. So that's really good. You have a little narrative campaign, and let's have a look at what you get. So you get some merchant ships, some neutral guys. So it depends how you settle with your friend. If you share this, for example, there are some Union ships. We'll talk about them later when we talk about the Union. But for the Sultanate, you get this giant, beautiful flagship, which is the Lyceum. There is a named version called the Badrul Badur. We'll talk a bit more when we talk about the Crimson League box. But basically know that you can have this twice and you'll be fine. You have those amazingly beautiful Mass 2 ships. Like they look small, but they're like as large as any surface cruiser, except they're flying. So they look brilliant. Then you get 3 of those Mass 1, the Hirakas, if I remember correctly, which got a good boost and are great. And those 3, which are the Al-Sakers, which got nerfed because they were too strong, and they're still very good right now. You can attach 3 of those to the Lyceum, for example, or if you get more of them later on, we'll see in another box, you can get those in a big squadrons and just obliterate something. Plus you get a lot of bits and everything. So I like the Fortune and Glory starter set. If you divide it by 2, it's a great deal. Like if you see when you order it, it's like 87 euros. So divided by 2 is gonna be like 45. It's a brilliant deal if you can separate it. But again, it involves finding a friend to share with, etc., etc. So I'm not gonna put it too high. There is quite a few things that you need to deal with, which is, for example, those little small escorts, like merchant ships, merchant token, troop tokens. There are quite a few things that you're like, okay, what do we do with it? So that's why I put it only at Oasis, in the sense that it's a good deal. But again, it goes down, as we've said before, with other starters, depending on whether you can find someone for the extra non-Sultanate stuff. But otherwise, it's a very good choice. Like it's all the way up, either at the bottom of the vizier's choice, but I realize like it's going to be very very lots of things up there. So I put it all the way up at the top of the Oasis part. And then we go, okay. Then we go to the Retaj. The Retaj, so another order ship. And this guy cost 54 euros, 46 if you have the discount. So it's just this guy. So let's say two sprues, like frontline sprues. It's exactly what it is actually. It's two frontline sprues. That's it. Plus a lot of resin bits to put this, and even for the frigates, to transform them into the order version. So you have less ships than, for the same price of what you would have two sprues plus a resin flagship, you have two sprues plus some extra resin bits to make it, to customize it into order. And what a ship! What a ship! It's probably one of the most expensive ship that you get in the entire game, except it does everything. You can play it on the table turn one to benefit from Fortunes of War and long-range firepower, great firepower with two like twin judgment lances, which is brilliant. The heavy torpedoes all around, and you can of course attach some Carcarolus destroyers. That's great. You can put it in reserve, either through normal reserve or, for example, through portals if you want, because it boosts your portals across the entire table. It can go through portals if you get two boxes of those guys, for example, if you really want to be naughty. It's such a good ship. It's such a good ship. It does everything. It's even resilient. The only thing, it's not resilient for its point cost. So when it gets sunk, you're gonna feel it because it's a large part of your fleet. But it's quite resilient anyway. And if you make it come from a deep strike from a reserve with some Carcarolus, it's gonna be so good. It has this giant blast like Helios explosion, plus crazy broadside, crazy boarding, crazy shooting, crazy torpedoes, and it has its escort. It's an insane ship. It is very maneuverable as well. It can repair. It's probably the best ship of the game, like bar none. Like except if you take super massive Ice Maiden, for example. Okay, but for the size, it's the best ship of the game. That's it. The only problem, well, it had to be, it's that it's very expensive. Okay, sure, but apart from this, it's such a joy to play. Like the first time, you're gonna think it's invincible, you're gonna make it charge down, and it's gonna die, and you're gonna be sad. But when you learn to play this guy, it's for sure one of the strongest ship of the game. Like I just absolutely love it. So what am I going to say out of this? Well, you know where it's going. It's going all the way up there. I'm so, I'm sorry. Yeah, it goes in front of the Examplar. But yeah, like oh shit, like all of those. Buy it. Like it's so good. Okay, I will need at some point to put some things down from there. I realize, but yeah, they're just amazing. We go now with the Crimson Link Battlefleet set. Talk about brilliant boxes. You pay 66 euros, I think. Yeah, 66 or 56 with a 15% discount from my place. And look at what you get. You get a Lyceum, this absolutely massive and beautiful ship. Look at our battle reports. We had it a few times, but it's massive and you can paint it beautifully. And you get 4 sprues, yes, 4 sprues of aerial ships. So you're going to get 4 of those mass 2s that you can build with quite a few versions, including one that is very interesting, which is a landing vessel that can be like kind of like in forward deployment, which is brilliant because it means you can start to capture islands and gain victory points turn 1. Incredible. You get more Alsakers, you get more Irkas. It's a great complement of the Fortunes and Glory box, but if you don't get the Fortunes and Glory box, you can just get this box once, you can get it twice, it's going to be a great deal. If you buy it twice, okay, it starts to be a little bit of the money, it's going to be about 100 euros, but you have the full aerial fleet, which, again, be careful now, you cannot capture objective with aerials, nor with submerged, but wow, that's an amazing box, like I want to put it all the way up there. The only thing is that they're a little bit weak right now, they get buff and buff and buff, they used to be terrible, now they're playable. Hopefully they'll be as strong as the Union ships one day. But yeah, they're going all the way up there. Like they are all the way to the top of the Vizier's choice. Like love that. Like the box is amazing. And now we go with the controversial part, the Abydos Battlefleet set. Ah la la, the Abydos. The Abydos is the first box that we see for the Egyptian. And what do you get? You get the massive Abydos Dreadnought, I think it's called. 2 portals and 4 sprues of Egyptian front lines. Okay, and some Khepri SRS tokens. Alright. The Abydos is massive. It doesn't look on the picture, it's one of the largest ships of the game. Like it's like the Murmansk in a way, like it's absolutely massive. It's very cool on the table, but it's a bit fragile. It cannot be hidden except if you have massive islands. It's an overcraft, and overcrafts were a bit overpriced in the game. And the three variants are underwhelming. There is a repair version, the Abydos, which doesn't do much. Like it's there, it's kind of hard to kill. Okay. There is the Pharaohs, the Dreadnought version, which is more glass cannon-ish. It has quite some damage, but it can die very fast, especially since you cannot hide it. And then there is a Tanis command version, which is an aircraft carrier, which is very tough for an aircraft carrier, but lots of points. Each of the variants is more than 300 points. And yeah, the Abydos, I want to love it. I know there is someone on the Discord that bought this box thrice, so it's like without the discounts, like more than 300 euros. With the discount, you have it at 86 euros on my replay. So if you want to buy such a big box, do this. But the Abydos, there used to be a time where I would put it high because it was a good way to have Egyptian sprues. But now there are better ways to get Egyptian sprues, and I cannot recommend the Abydos as a flagship. Like, too many bad things. It doesn't even look like, it looks a bit different than the Egyptian ships, and it goes to fading, it goes to shifting sand. Oh no, it's not so bad. Like, let's not exaggerate. Yeah, it goes to fading crescent. I will keep it here just because there is the Khartoum Battlefleet set that has been released, and it's such a better box if you want to collect Egyptians. It's again fading crescent. It's not the worst. If you want to play full Egyptians, it's good to have one box. If you want to buy thrice the Abydos Battlefleet set, it's a little bit of madness, but we love you, the guy that did this. You painted them beautifully on top. But yeah, one Abydos, if you play full Egyptians, okay, I hear. Otherwise, maybe there are better things to buy. And now we go with, oh my god, the Suleiman, El Famoso Suleiman. Talk about big boxes. This is another one at exactly the same price, 102 euros, 86 with discounts. And what a box this is. So you get 3 frontline sprues, 3 support sprues, which are all of them brilliant. You're gonna get a lot of SRS tokens and everything. And you get the Suleiman. The Suleiman used to be stupidly OP. It's an amazing aircraft carrier. I think it's like the largest SRS capacity of the game with SRS capacity 12. It used to be crazily resilient. And basically the competitive meta this time for Sultanate was to bring 2, maybe 3 Suleimans on the table and basically be unkillable and kill the enemies under swarms and swarms of SRS tokens. Now it's more fair, let's say. It's still an amazing box, brilliant box, but the Suleiman is not an auto-include, which in a way is good. Like, I like it. Before I would make a face when my opponent comes with a twin Suleiman list for a friendly game. But now I'm fine. Like, I see a Suleiman, I'm like, yeah, sure, bring it. It's a beautiful, massive chunk of resin, and it can be beautifully painted. Like, you see the design, like this kind of like Ottoman grandeur design. Like, I love it. Plus, you get some Temir, lots of escorts, some SRS token. Like, it's a great box. A bit expensive, yes, but you get so much out of it. So having it once is great, especially if you buy, for example, the starter set. It's a great complement because you're gonna have more support sprues, more frontline sprues, and there are some factions when I'm like, okay, chill out, you have enough frontline sprues, enough support sprues. For example, the Commonwealth, when you start to have too many Ruriks and Kutsovs and stuff, you're like, okay, that's it. You're not gonna play more of this, except if you play a very skew reviving ships list. But for the Sultanate, they have so many variants that I would not consider ever to have like 7 or 8 sprues. It's not too much. I'm sorry, like that's just the truth. And because you have so many things, the support ships, you can build them alone as a lone artillery ship, lone repair ships. You can link them to make a Topkabi, for example. You can even convert it. You can make this twin artillery ship. Same for the normal frontline cruisers. You can play them as Iskandar, as I forgot their other names, but they have a lot of good ships. Izmir, they have also the portal ship, like the small frontline cruiser that can have a portal generator, Vanguard, and it's one of the best way the Sultanate has to project portals turn 1. Plus they have the Mehmed Grand Monitor and the Hurrem Grand Cruiser. So many things you can do with those sprues. So for sure, even if you buy twice the starter set, you still have space to buy on top of this the Suleiman, if you have the income, of course, because it starts to be 200 euros, all of this. But if it's not a bad idea, it's not going to be too much, and you're like, oh, but I have so many frigates. The Temir are brilliant. They can be attached. You can make a huge pack of them. Oh, but the escorts, it means I'm going to have so many escorts. It's great. The Sultanate has cheap escorts, and it plays around them. It can boost them. It can put them on basically any ship. Such a great combo, and I'm I'm realizing I want to put it all the way up there, and no, it doesn't go any lower than the Vizier's Choice. It might even go in front of the Crimson League. And yeah, you know what? I'm putting the Topkapi one floor down to the Oasis because like we cannot put everything all the way up there. But yeah, it's such a great box of the Suleiman. It's expensive, yes, but if you get it minus 15% on my place, that's a good deal. And if you do this, as always, 5% back to us if you choose us in the basket or if you go through the link. Thank you very much if you do that. And we continue with another banger, the Khartoum Battlefleet set, the box, the new box that single-handedly put the Abydos all the way down. 56 euros, 47.8 with a 15% discount. You get 2 Egyptian sprues, okay, and the Khartoum, and it's great. I mean, it's a great ship, the Khartoum. The Egyptian ships are great. The mass ones are insane. The mass 2s are great as well. And you can buy the Khartoum once, twice, thrice if you want. If you want to start to play full Egyptians, you have so many variants, especially of the mass 2s, that you will always have something to build with your sprues. And each variant of the Khartoum, the Osiris is great as well. There is the other one, I need to remember the name, but there is a third variant of the Khartoum which is also very good. All of them are fine. You get more and more SLS tokens for the scarabs, which can be added on the mass 2 ships, and the mass 1s there's 2 variants, both of them are brilliant, and you will always love this. Khartoum, absolutely recommended. Like, I cannot say this enough. If you want to play Egyptians, you start with this. If you want to have a small battle fleet of Egyptians on top of your Turkish or of your order, you start with the Khartoum. Like, such a brilliant box. Like with the, I love the Egyptian sprues, and I love how the Khartoum is in the same theme. It does a little bit the same thing compared to the Abydos. It looks as a bigger cruiser, unlike the Abydos. I just love this box very much. It's going up, well, not all the way up. I need to find a way. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna put the Khartoum here in the order, and yeah, I'm sorry, Examplar, but you're going down. Like, there is enough of the order in the order part. I'm gonna put the Examplar there. Should I? I'm gonna keep it like this to make a little bit variety. Let's not put all the order on the top. Khartoum, best Egyptian box, for sure. And we finish with another box that will go all the way down because there is so much better. It's the Anatolia Battlefleet set. 54 euros, so 46 when you consider the discount, is this. And unfortunately, just gonna be no. It's just gonna be no. For one specific reason, if you are thinking of buying this box, give yourself a little slap, look at the starter set, and consider that for 15 euros more compared to this, you get another 2 of the support sprues that would cost 30, so it's already half price on the support sprues, and you know how good it is. I've told enough. You know how much you want support sprues in the Sultanate. It's maybe with the Covenant, maybe the faction that wants support sprues the most. So having them at a half price compared to the basic Anatolia is already great. And you got all of this for free. Rulebooks, another cards, more dices, which is already good. More critical dices, the token, the movement template. You can sell them for quite a lot if you want. Like, you can sell them, I think, the whole package for 25, 30 euros if you want. You can give them to friends. You can make demos with these. Just for 15 euros more, I think you every single day of the week go for the Sultanate Starter Set. It's such a better deal that I don't see myself recommending anytime anybody to buy the Anatolia Battlefleet set. We've seen the Covenant where there was question because sprues were different, maybe it's something you didn't want so much to have multiples on, but for the Sultanate, best starter set, and it eclipses completely the Anatolia Battlefleet set, which unfortunately shifts beneath the sands, and yeah, just don't buy this box. I'm sorry. Plus on my hobby place, you can buy the starter set in stock and you cannot buy the Anatolia, so it's a sign. Okay, as you can see, like lots of good boxes in the Sultanate. Doesn't mean, again, it doesn't mean that it's the top competitive faction currently. That's not true. It is a good faction. It's not at the bottom tier. But the Order have such amazing boxes. If you want to play Egyptians, there are good ways. Egyptians are not the competitive faction right now, but I just love how they look. They look brilliant. They're extremely fun to play. They got a buff recently to make them tougher for the price cost, which is great. But they're not hoarding the competitive prizes, if you allow me the expression. Turkish are very good. The Sultanate Starter is probably the best one of the entire game that you want to spam more and more and more of. Overall, it's a very, very good faction, the Sultanate. It's probably one of my top 3 factions, one of those that I will always keep because I just love to play those guys. And yeah, I highly, highly recommend them. So alright, here we are. Finally, you can see it really goes up. Of course, it's, again, open to debate. You could tell me like, yeah, the Khartoum goes 1 rank down and maybe the Crimson League goes 1 rank down as well. We can have a discussion on this. Let me know in the comments. If you type a comment, you have a chance, as you have seen, to win either one massive Japanese Empire fleet for Dystopian Wars, or you can choose as well instead to win the Wegom force, like army, entire army for conquest. So there will be 2 winners as always. You know how it works by now. Little comment, and then you can decide what you want to win. All the other YouTube things as well. Thumbs up for helping this video to be seen by others and maybe help some. This is the sign my work break is over. You can also send a little thumbs up to make us more visible. Subscribe if you're not subscribed yet. Just let us know what you think of this tier list format and if you agree with me and everything in the comments. And otherwise, until the next video, take care of yourself, guys, and remember to keep things fair in love and war games. Bye!